Welcome back, and this time we're going to take a Wolverine scan and use AVI Demux to slice out the same clip twice, put those two clips into Film 9 and see what we can do with those. So here's AVI Demux. This is a great little tool to have in your video armory, and again, with all software that I download, I only ever download it from videohelp.com, and you'll find the link for that down below. Go to the software section, search for AVI Demux and get it on your computer. And what I want to use this for is to chop out a piece of this Reel 1 Wolverine scan, which we can see is 429 megabytes, so that's probably a 200-foot reel of film. And I want to chop out a clip without retranscoding it or converting it. I just want to chop out a piece that's an identical copy of this original Reel 1.mp4. My settings on this: video output, I'm going to choose copy. Audio output, there is none, but we'll choose copy. And for the output format, I'm going to choose MP4 Muxa. The reason I'm choosing that is because it's an MP4 film, so I'm going to keep it as MP4. And this is my reel of film, and I can scroll through it here. And I want to say, let's go in from here somewhere. Where should we go? Let's go in here. Let's take the band. That's 1976 in Fort Lauderdale for the bicentennial. What a cracking run ashore that was, I can tell you. And then down here on this transport bar, we've got A and B. So I'm going to click A as my in point, and we'll go to somewhere like, oh look, there's a Russian ship following us. They used to scoop up all our rubbish. Let's go to there, and we'll click on B, which will mark our out point. And then we're going to, up here in the top, I've got this little disk icon, and I'm going to save it as Reel 1 Edit, and we'll save that, and that's taken that copy. I'm then going to do it again, and I'm going to call that Reel 1A Edit, and save it again. So now I've got two clips identical that I can put into Film 9 and treat those differently. And we'll go to our projects. Now, bearing in mind this is a Wolverine scan, so it's at 30 frames per second, and we all know what I think about that, but there we are. We have to live with it, don't we? I'm going to set it to 16 frames per second just to get that little bit extra out of it. 18 frames is what it was shot at, but I'm going to go for 16. Doesn't quite equate, 30, 16, whatever, there we are. I'm going to set my destination directory on my external drive. I want to keep my desired dimensions. I'm going to keep it as MP4, 10 megabits per second, it's in colour and it's silent. So our settings are all good to go with synchro because it's a Wolverine scan frame by frame, and we'll validate that. Let's bring in clip 1, and with clip 1, once it opens up, I am just going to turn on degrain, and I'm going to give it 100% double action and exit that. I'm then going to bring in clip 1A, and I'm going to give that degrain double action 50%, and I'm going to turn on cleaning clear dirts. I'm then going to send this to process, and then I'm going to send this clip to process. And we'll click on Start Render. And as always, Virtual Dub will open, and we'll write an uncompressed version of that file which it will then work from. And these uncompressed files can run into very many gigabytes, so if you happen to be processing a 400-foot reel, it's not going to be uncommon to go 20, 30, 40, 50 gigabytes for that uncompressed file. So just be aware of that you've got plenty of drive space. See, that's gone to 800 megabytes for a very short clip. Virtual Dub will close, and then it will reopen, and it will start doing the processing that I've set. And of course it depends on how much processing you've got set up as to how long it's going to take to do it. And we can see again, this uncompressed clip is running into several hundred megabytes. So this is going to take around 6 minutes, 5 minutes. This is running on an i7 laptop with 32 gigabytes of RAM in it. And while that's processing, I will just say that if you're one of my subscribers, I'm most grateful that you chose to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. We're heading for 1,000 subscribers, which is quite remarkable considering This group's been running for 3 years, so it just goes to prove that it takes time to establish an audience, especially in a niche market like cinefilm. And Wolverine scanners. So many people hate the Wolverine scanner, but I love it. It's allowed me to see all my old cinefilms again and scan cinefilms for other people. We were talking in a Facebook group this morning about scanning films and the cost of having films scanned, and I did a couple of checks online to see how much it costs. One company in the UK, who shall remain nameless, are charging £30 for 50 feet of film, and that's a 2K scan without anything being done to it. That's a lot of money if you've got thousands of feet of film. But there we are. We'll leave that argument for another day, and we'll leave Film 9 to do its work. And there we go. And as always, if you're doing longer clips, obviously the processing time is going to be much longer. Maybe you need to leave it overnight. If you click on Preferences here, there's a shutdown icon, and Film 9 will shut down the computer once the processing is completed. So you can go to bed and leave the laptop computer running to do the processing, and it will switch it off for you in the morning. So that's that done. Now let's go and have a look at those treated clips. And it'll be interesting to see if they're both the same size. That one's come out at 112 megabytes. That one's come out at 113 megabytes. And the original clip was 86 megabytes. There's an interesting comparison, and that was at 14,758 kilobits per second. These have come out at around about 10,319 kilobits per second. I'm not too worried about file size in this day and age. It's not like we're all on dial-up, is it? So let's have a look at those two clips side by side. And the clip on the right was the one with just the D-grain, and the clip on the left, I think, was clear dirts and D-grain. So let's just quickly return to AVI Demux, and we'll open this video again, Reel 1. And if you need to chop out some clips from a video, then we can set up video copy, depending on the format you're working with. Well, I'm working with MP4. I can then go through here, choose my in point, choose my out point. We'll then save that video as Real Edit 1E. I can then go and choose another clip and mark my in point and my out point, and we can save that as D. Obviously I've got to give it a new name, so you can go through a reel of film and chop out bits that you want, and there we are. So I've got all these little clips that I can chop out, and that's without doing any re-encoding or reprocessing. It's just a direct copy of the original film. So AVI Demux, and again, I'm sure there's plenty of tutorials on YouTube that you can go and have a look at. If there's something else you want to know and you can't find it, let me know and I'll show you how to do it. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.